What do you think, well, now that you really are working in a creative agency, you probably
Yeah.
had your ideas as well of what a creative agency would be about. What do you think are the common misconceptions about creative agencies?
That we're always at long lunches.
Oh, we wish.
We wish. I mean, I think there were the days when that was the case, and it's been a feature of the industry, and we do love a good lunch in this sector, and that's both for clients but also for the team to celebrate. It's funny because I've always been in the nighttime economy, working in the arts sector and in a theatre which is nighttime. So you say the same thing in that you have late nights, there's lots of things that happen in the evening. But yeah, the perception that everyone's always out at long boozy lunches, I suppose, is not necessarily true, and not true. There's the odd, but it's not the case.
Yeah.
People work pretty hard. But I think the other misconception that is important to break down, and particularly on the topic we're discussing today, is that there is a bit of a feeling that particularly young creatives are working really, really long hours, or always working on this deadline, which means that they're, working long hours and it's constantly like that. And there are some agencies like that. That is absolutely true, and there is lots of industries like that. But in our part of the world, in a branding agency, it's not always like that. There are times when the load is heavy and you've got a big deadline or a client project that people will be working long hours, but it's definitely not like that. That's probably the exception and the norm. It's really important, that balance for work.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of agencies globally even have tried to create that balance by creating like super fun, super vibrant environment, with football, the football and people riding bikes around the office and stuff like that. And for me, it's one of the misconceptions we come across quite often is that perception that it's going to be super vibrant. Sure, it is probably more vibrant than a very traditional, very, on the clock type of industry.
Yes.
But it really comes down to the cultural DNA of the agency itself and the people who are in there, which reflects on the culture. But you might have some very vibrant ones. You might have, as you said, some that have really long hours, constantly working and pushing through. Ours, as an example, is more a team of introverted people. The majority of them introverted, so it's not constantly, shouting across the room.
Exactly.
So it's all very different, and I think it comes down to investigating which agency you are dealing with or about to deal with to get a feel of what that one is going to be about.
Exactly, and that's what you want when you're recruiting people to come and work for you. And in our agency, we have a lot of really introverted people and a lot of really extroverted people, and you have to manage that on a day-to-day basis. But that doesn't mean that people are shouting, as you said. There is lots of energy, and then there are times when it's very quiet. But I think that it's important with creative people that you would give them space to be creative. So if you're working them very long hours all the time, that's not going to necessarily fit. And so that is a misconception, I think. But there are certainly places where that would happen more so than others. And there are times when you have to, but it's not the norm.
No, of course.